Okay, here we are again in Santa Fe, New Mexico for the 4th episode of How to Wear a Hat and Not Feel Like a Fool, with the subtitle of Winter Solstice. So you might look at this outfit that I'm wearing today and this hat and think, oh, it's just an everyday going to the Symphony kind of outfit, which is what we are going to do tonight. But actually, the magic behind wearing all these fun vintage accoutrements is that I'm celebrating winter solstice. Even though we're a few days late, I'm celebrating the move back to the light from the luminous darkness. And when I talk about darkness, in this case, I mean the luminous darkness of the night sky, the luminous darkness of the deep ocean, or the luminous darkness at the center of Mother Earth. So this is a positive darkness, not a negative darkness. And the light we're moving into has to do with all these sparkly, wonderful vintage things that I have on. So, to start with, this really cool scarf that a friend gave me that has these little palettes on it. It's from the 1950s, and it belonged to a friend's mother. And it's great, man. It shoots lights everywhere when you walk into the light in a room. It's great. And then I have this wonderful Eisenberg Ice pen from the 50s. And that also has a dazzling display of rainbow lights that come off of it sometimes. And then lastly of all, I have this wonderful 1940s hat. It is actually my favorite hat. And it's sculptured. I'm going to take it off now. It's off the hat hair. But it's sculptured. And the base of it is actually straw, which is very unusual. And it has an edging or a bumper or a cuff, if you like to say, of curly lamb's fur. And then it also has a black velvet top. And I've added these two 1930s, 1940s sparkly scatter pins that look like stars. And on the inside it's lined with taffeta, black taffeta. And the label on this it's hard to pronounce. It's Kelly Mulderhun Kootner. And it's made in London, England. And it does drop straw every once in a while. That's how I found out that rather than using Stephen Milliner's net, that they use straw. But nevertheless, I love it. So I'm going to put it back on here. Again, it kind of sits at a jaunty angle. And it keeps my head really nice and warm. So that's one hat that we're going to look at tonight. And then, I think I'll stop and show you this great 1920s shawl. We just watched a special the other night on the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, and Tutanmania started in the States when that happened. And one of the things that the 1920s flappers wore when they went out to the Symphony was one of these Asuite shawls, which is a net shawl that's made with tons of little metal pieces, silver metal pieces, that are actually folded over into the netting. So it really makes quite a statement when you go out. They used to make dresses, flapper dresses of this as well. So this is another thing that is just fabulous. You can still find them on Etsy. I think they might still make them in Egypt too, actually, to accessorize your outfit with a wonderful, dramatic vintage accessory. And then I have another hat here that I thought I'd show you, which is a 1950s hat. This one's not so much my style, but who could resist something that looks like this? Really, it's got gold braid soutache on it, and it has crystal hearts and pearls and medallions on black velvet. And it's got a little bit of an eyeshadower veil on it. Now I'm going to put it on. I have my mirror right here. This is how they wore it in the 50s. Of course, most of them had really short hair, so you could probably get more of an idea if I tuck my hair back as to how it might look. And again, This is a great little hat or style of hat. I think it's called a cask or a cocktail hat, either one. You could look it up, but like if you were searching for one on Etsy, you could go under 1950s cocktail hats, or you could go for 1950s cask, C-A-S-Q-U-E hat. And again, it's a rigid form. It's on a rigid form and just fits right on your head. It has a little, the 50s hats always have a little comb in it, almost always, and that they used to kind of catch in their hair so that it wouldn't go flying off. And this one, the label is Saks Fifth Avenue Millinery Salon, and it's really a beautifully done hat. Again, it's got little crystal dangles on it too. I didn't see those the first time. That would shoot some lights out and give you a little bit of that fairy star appeal. So now I'm literally, or I guess it should be metaphorically, going to change hats, or a little bit of both actually. Okay. I've put on my meditative shawl, and I put on another hat. This is kind of my Georgia O'Keeffe hat. I like this very much. This one isn't vintage, but it's a soaker from Australia, but the shawl is vintage. And I put on my meditation shawl because I wanted to talk to you a little bit about turning towards the light inside. And in this time, this last year has been difficult for a lot of people with the encroaching darkness. And for us, it was hard because we had to move, pack up and move and downsize and everything else from a small town in Oregon to here. And one of the things that helped me immensely was that my healer friend, Cosme Castellaneta, from Nevada City, California, who I've known for, I figured out last night, almost 40 years, gave me a meditation in early January. And it was such a simple one that I thought I would share it with you because it can be done anytime. And it only, he said, do it for at least a minute. So I think some of you can afford a minute to do something that would actually probably change your life. It certainly did mine. So to start with, I'm going to give you just a basic little meditation cue here, is that I'm sitting in a chair. You could also do this standing up with my feet flat on the floor. You want your spine straight, but not rigid. Shoulders, relax your shoulders. If you're standing, the same thing. Relax your shoulders. You know, you can imagine a string maybe pulling your head up through your hat to your divine hat, your crown chakra, which is, you can imagine, is just this brilliant, brilliant, feathery, multi-petaled lotus white light at your crown. And you can turn inward. You can close your eyes or not, depending on where you are. If you're sitting down, that's fine. If you're walking into a room, just before you walk into a room, you might not want to close your eyes, or you might walk into a wall or a door. But anyway, and start taking a few deep breaths. Focus in on your heart to ground, and your feet to ground you. And just imagine above you a beautiful, beautiful white light, or golden tinged white light. And as you breathe in, imagine this golden white light, my cat is rubbing on my leg here, golden white light coming in through your crown and flooding your whole body, every cell in your body, just like a shower of light would do. And also imagine, take your mind and your heart to the center of the earth, our mother, Gaia, our sacred mother, Earth, and bring up from her center this amazing crystalline white light as well, that comes up through your feet and meets the light coming from above in your heart. Cosme calls this the kiss of God. I would probably call it the kiss of the goddess, because that's my orientation. But you don't really have to think of this in terms of any kind of deity. You can just think of it as light, and that's part of the beauty of it. You can imagine it as the god or the goddess or the great spirit. You can imagine it as Buddha or Jesus, Mohammed, Guadalupe, white buffalo woman, whatever you'd like to, whatever inspires you and whatever you see as your inner light and your protector. And you just visualize these lights coming from above and coming from below, coming into your body, flooding every cell with light and into your heart, and then shooting out in every direction. And imagine it shooting out all around you in every direction as far as you can imagine. And you can start by doing it just close, like, 20 feet, 30 feet. And then think about it in terms of your town, and then perhaps your county and your state and the United States and the North and South America continents, the various continents, and all around over the oceans, as vast as you can imagine, this light going. And probably the most important part of this light is to think about it in terms of being love or compassion or both, and with a little dash of wisdom always helps. And think about it, first of all, in terms of healing your own body and raising your energy to a higher vibration, but also raising the vibration of everybody and everything it touches. He also told me that this was a really great one. I'm very shy socially, so for me, it's to walk into a room full of people that I don't know is terrifying. So he told me that it's also really a great one to do just before you walk into a room. He goes, when you do this, he said, you'll raise the energy and light of every single person in the room. And they won't even know it. It's your little secret and my little secret, except now that it's here on YouTube, it's not such a secret anymore. If you're interested in doing more of this kind of work, you can contact Cosme and his lovely naturopath wife, Cheryl Ann, at AlohaCosmeCherylAnn.com. And their website talks about, he travels all over healing people, and he also gives classes and learning how to do this yourself and workshops. So I'll have David put a little plug in at the end so that you can actually see the address in case you can't remember it. So there we go. So this is our celebration of light eliminating negative habit patterns of mind, or really negativity and evil in the world. I just saw a video not so long ago with, it was actually a preview of Oprah Winfrey in I think it was called A Wrinkle of Time, where she's going, the best way to overcome darkness is to become light. So that's my cues for today about how to wear a hat and not feel like a fool. I tell you, if you're flooded with light, it'll be no problem. Happy holidays.